Hello and welcome to the 2020 year-end WrestleScope TV. I'm John. Thank you very much. Hello to TikTok. I'm doing something new here. We're live on YouTube. We're recording this for the podcast on Buzzsprout and every place else. And we are live on TikTok as well. Thank you very much. For those of you that may be living across the pond, you may be somewhere else where it's already 2021. How is it? How is it in 2021? So let's see. If you're in England, if we happen to have anybody in England, it's 5:30 p.m. Central Time here in Wisconsin. So that means in half an hour, it's going to be 2021 in London, England. So hopefully they could give us an update on how things are for the new year. We got a little ways to go here, but thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for taking some time out. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode. Obviously, going to have a little bit of news to talk about, a couple of other things I want to talk about. Was planning on doing like a prediction show and some other things. Just not going to end up getting to that now because it's been a week. It's been a week. And I'm going to let some people jump in here before we get started with things. But as always, if you're on the YouTube, check it out here. I'm going to get this pointing right one of these days. All of my different links for social media are here. On TikTok, at WrestleScope TV. On Twitter, at TV_Wrestle. And on Instagram, at WrestleScope. So please click the subscribe button below. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much to everybody that has become a subscriber of my channel. Hello on TikTok to Madison Space One. How are you doing? We are live here on YouTube and on TikTok as well. Don't have the technology quite yet. Going to attempt to maybe do an Instagram live as well in 2021. But before I get to kind of some of the news things I want to talk about, I just want to talk about these last couple of months. And it's been an incredible journey for me here on social media with this channel. And I've just been excited to see everything that has come about and everything that has happened here. When I started this YouTube channel just a few months ago, and TikTok was actually just before that, I wasn't sure where it was going to go. I was inspired by a couple of people. For those of you that have been watching me for a while, excuse me, you know I love talking about Wrestle Talk, and I should have tagged them in here, and I didn't. The guys over at Wrestle Talk on YouTube, they're also on Instagram and on Twitter, have done a phenomenal job over the last couple of years with providing really broad-based information and news and different things about the world of wrestling. And I became a fan of them a little over a year ago. Just happened to find them on a whim on YouTube and have followed them. They've got almost 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome. But the group of Ollie Davis, Luke Owen, Lori Blake, Pete Quinnell, Louis Dangor, Andy Datson, and their entire team over there have done a phenomenal job, especially in this pandemic now. How they have continued. Oh, and Adam Blompier. Can't forget about Adam Blompier. They have done a phenomenal job. And those guys really inspired me to start doing this. And there's another person, and unfortunately he has not been very active on TikTok lately, at The Wrestling Ring. He used to have a different name. I forget which group he's a part of. And thank you to everybody that's jumping in on TikTok. Greatly appreciate it. He inspired me to do the daily TikToks. The daily TikToks. I can't edit that one out. I'm sorry. No, I have not been drinking. What I am going to be drinking here momentarily is G Fuel, the Tropical Rain, non-alcoholic. So just so you know. But he was doing 60-second little news TikToks, and it really caught my attention on my personal account. Like, you know what? I could start doing something like this. So I did. And he's kind of disappeared, unfortunately. I really loved his content. And hello, P. Palumbo 227. Thanks for joining in here on TikTok. I've really enjoyed what he did. I was hoping to do some collaborations, but he's not here anymore. I don't know what happened to him. I know he had some personal things going on with moving and whatnot, but it's been a fun journey for me. And over, let's see, where am I at? Just under 2,000 followers on TikTok. I don't think we hit the 2,000 quite yet. 35 subscribers on YouTube, which may not seem like a lot, but for a fairly new channel that really only does one broadcast a week on YouTube, I'm happy, and things are growing. And it's not about the numbers, which kind of ironically, on my personal account, I'm going to give a shout out here real quick, and I wish I could type it out for you guys, but I can't. But on TikTok, for my TikTok followers, please go check out MilWeb1, MILWEB, the number 1. That's my boss. That's where I work. That's my day job. And he actually just had a TikTok hit 1.7 million views. He's gained 7,000 followers in the last 4 days. And it's boxing, it's shipping, it's funny. And I would love to see, if you check him out, let's get his numbers on that 1.7 up higher, okay? I think that would be kind of cool. I don't get a bonus out of it or anything. So if you're on TikTok, at MilWeb1, MILWEB, the number 1. All right, we're saying goodbye to 2020. Hello, 2021. Kicking 2020 out the door, and let's see if we can actually get this to work. I've been having some issues with the with the Streamlabs, but don't you all kind of agree right here? Unfortunately, you can't see it on TikTok. You can see it on YouTube. Stunk 2020. Yes, this year people have called it dumpster fire. Hello, Dean Morris, how are you? Other people have called it other things. Me personally, as I look back on it, and I just want to, this is non-wrestling related, we'll get to the wrestling in just a minute. As I look back on 2020, it's been a challenging year. It has been. But I've been very fortunate that my job was not directly affected by what happened. Thankfully, business continued to move on and continued to grow, and we were doing good. Health-wise, my family did well. We had one little bout with the corona back in October with one of my children, and everything was fine. Came out of it okay. My kids were back in school this fall. Obviously, they missed the last 6-7 weeks of school at the end of the school year in the spring. Church was shut down. Relatively speaking, this actually was not a bad year for us. It was a challenge. It was frustrating. I know people that have dealt with many worse things this year. But I'll tell you, I'm ready to kick the year to the curb and hope that we can get back to some sort of normalcy in 2021. But we shall see. But the main thing that I think we really need to take away from this year is a need to stop with so much negativity, especially here in the United States. This has been a really rough year for us with just everything with COVID, everything with the elections. Hopefully we can put all that behind us, and hopefully we can learn to live from the first topic that I really want to talk about and spend most of my time on here tonight is going to be the thing that so many of us have been talking about the last few days, and it's Brodie Lee. Jonathan Huber, who sadly passed away this past weekend at the age of 41. I do want to have a hot take here real quick. I am not going to mention this person's name because he does not deserve to have his name mentioned, but there is a wrestling quote-unquote journalist out there that was ripping apart Amanda Huber, Brodie Lee's wife, and AEW for not releasing information earlier that Brodie was ill, that he was terminally ill, that things were bad for him, that she should have been more upfront and everything else. Again, I'm not going to give this person credence by giving out his name because I don't think he deserves it. I've mentioned to some other much more notable and well-known wrestling commentators and content creators, and I've said, we shouldn't be putting this person's name out. This guy should not be getting our attention because he doesn't deserve it. He's trying to gain followers, gain attention by giving out information. Thank you very much, Dean, and thank you very much, Nutty Butter, for that, for the rest in peace. He doesn't deserve that, so I'm not going to give out his name. But it has been so great to see, since this news broke last weekend, the outpouring of support for Brodie Lee and the outpouring of support for his family and the amazing stories that have come out and have been shared with us about not just the wrestler Luke Harper and Brodie Lee and Big Rig, but the man, Jonathan Huber, who his character on TV in wrestling was one thing, but he was the ultimate husband and father. He cared more about his family than anything else, but he also cared about the people he worked with, the people that came in contact with him as a professional wrestler. And that really came out in AEW last night. Now, I will openly admit, at the time that I'm doing this, at just after 5:30 Central Time on New Year's Eve, I have not watched the entire show yet because I knew there was going to be a replay. And I knew I was going to be able to record it and watch it later. And keeping up to date on everything that was going on Twitter with it, I don't think I could have emotionally handled watching the entire show in its entirety. So I did watch NXT last night. But everything I have seen and everything I have heard, AEW, Tony Khan, and Cody Rhodes, and everybody involved in that organization, oh my goodness, they deserve so much credit for what they did. I wish it didn't happen the way it happened, that we lost just an amazing person in Brodie Lee. But what they did with that show, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to spoil some things. I'm sorry. It just happens. But the way, they did the traditional 10-bell ring at the beginning with the entire AEW cast and crew, everybody, but Amanda Huber and her two sons right there, dead center, right in the middle of everything. And the emotion you saw on the faces of so many of those men and women. Then they opened with the heartfelt, it wasn't a promo, just Jon Moxley, who obviously did a lot of work with Brodie Lee when they were in WWE. And I believe they actually worked on the independent scene too. They were in NXT together and the independent scene before that. Just absolutely amazing. Eddie Kingston, extremely emotional. Just so many heartfelt messages that went out. And an entire night that was just focused solely on Brodie Lee and the Dark Order. Colt Cabana barely holding it together, coming out to the ring and in his match with the Young Bucks. Anna Jay, who was brought in by Brodie Lee, practically losing it. Lance Archer, loved that he came out dressed as Luke Harper. And the main event, Orange Cassidy and Cody Rhodes and number 10. Absolutely unbelievable. But the very ending, which I saw online and I'm going to watch again. Yeah, Dean, I haven't had a chance to see what a lot of the indies have done. Hello, Gary Spinner, how are you? But the very end, where was Cody and Tony Khan in the ring with Amanda Huber and Brodie Lee Jr., -1. And I loved how he was dressed. He was dressed like his dad in the suit. He had the Dark Order mask on. They put Brodie's boots in the ring. They gave Brodie Lee Jr. the TNT Championship belt and said that design was getting retired. that was going to be Brodie Lee's title. And they signed Brodie Lee Jr., 8 years old, to an official AEW contract that when he becomes old enough, he will be part of the AEW family. But guess what? For the next 10 years, Amanda Huber and her boys are going to be part of the AEW family, because I know Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes and everybody involved, they are going to take care of that family. But everything that they did was absolutely beautiful. And there's been a lot of negativity towards WWE of how they handled things. But I think, honestly, they handled it the right way. First of all, everybody from WWE, including Vince and Stephanie and Triple H and so many others, came out with personal messages over the weekend. They did, the traditional, at the beginning of the show, graphic. And so many of the wrestlers were given the okay to do what they want, what they could, to pay homage to Luke Harper, Brodie Lee, Jonathan Huber during the show. But there's been a lot of people out there whining and complaining, well, WWE should have done a tribute show to him as well. He's not a WWE superstar right now. We may have actually seen by WWE a sign of respect to AEW by saying, listen, that's his home right now. You guys take it first. We'll do our little thing on Monday night. You take it first. And tomorrow night, from what I understand, numerous reports that I've read, there was actually interviews that were done prior to Raw on Monday night that could potentially, they may air on Friday night on SmackDown. I don't think they're going to do a full-on tribute show, but I think they're going to do more. And this would be the show. They actually have the time to do it because there's still plenty of time for a build to Royal Rumble. Viewership will most likely be down this week because of the holiday. You're competing with New Year's Day college bowl games here in the United States. So I don't want to say it's a throwaway show. I don't want to say that because that would be in disrespect to Jonathan Huber. But if you're going to do a quasi-tribute show for a guy that no longer worked for your company, this is the Friday to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if WWE did a little bit more. If they don't, I won't be upset. I really won't be. Because they've come out on social media and they've done a lot. They really have. They have not been disrespectful to his legacy. But we shall see. I'm not going to go either way. If they do more, that's going to be great. I'm going to be so happy to see that. To think that starting 2021, that maybe there's a softening of things in the quote-unquote war between WWE and AEW. And the tragic death of Brodie Lee may have helped that. Maybe something good can come out of this. I had tweeted last night that last night reminded me so much of the prime of the Monday Night Wars, when I would sit there, and I would love to actually bring my wife in here right now and she could tell you, Monday nights I used to sit there and would flip back and forth between, I believe it was USA and TNT. I think, I'd have to look back. I think for the most part WWE was on the USA Network at the time. Flipping back and forth. I would record both as well. This is before DVRs, this is VCRs. I would record both, but I'd be flipping back and forth because we didn't have two TVs that had cable TV, otherwise I would have dual screens going. And I loved that, going back and forth from show to show. And last night was one of those nights that very easily could have done that, because I wanted to see what was happening on NXT as they're building to New Year's Evil, but I also wanted to see the Brodie Lee Tribute show. And it was a great feeling coming out of really a tragic event, that getting that feeling back again. Yeah, Dean, Dean Morris here on TikTok is saying AEW versus WWE is much like WCW versus WWF. In a way, yeah, it is, but in a way, it's not. You don't have that direct competition. No knock on NXT, but AEW versus NXT is not the same thing as Monday Nitro, Monday Night Raw. Not the same thing. For those of you watching live here on YouTube, you can leave your comments here in the chat as well. I got to move my screen here real quick to see if there's anybody in the chats. Go ahead and jump in and give me your chats. And I just goofed up my screen here on TikTok. My apologies. All right. I want to get to, as we've hit the 20-minute mark here, once again, my heartfelt condolences to Amanda Huber and the Huber family and everybody in AEW over the loss of Brodie Lee. I never had the opportunity to meet or talk with him. I was only a fan watching on television and social media, but I had a really hard time when this news came out, especially as stories about Jonathan Huber came out, about just the husband and father he was. And you know, I've been blessed to be a father for over 21 years now, and I strive to be a father like Brodie Lee was to his boys, and I strive to leave a legacy with people like Brodie Lee, like Jonathan Huber did. So, rest in peace, Jonathan Huber, Brodie Lee. You will be missed. You will be remembered. You will never be forgotten. Okay, as we continue on, I'm going to try keeping things a little bit more lighthearted here this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is WrestleScope TV, live here. Oh, Dean, that is awesome that you got a chance to meet him early in his indie career. Southern Gal Forever, hello on TikTok and welcome in. We're going to switch gears a little bit here, and it was just announced actually last night on NXT that in a couple of weeks we are going to see the return of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, if you will. Sorry for the really bad Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, or Dusty Rhodes impersonation there. Sorry, gonna crack open. Oh, here we go. What I hope someday to be my sponsor, G Fuel. G Fuel. Absolutely love it. One of these days I will show you my mini G Fuel shrine I have here. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Good stuff. So it was announced last night on NXT. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is coming back in 2 weeks' time. Established tag teams, Franken teams. There will be teams from NXT UK. There will be teams from all over the place coming together. And the winner of this tournament gets a shot at the NXT Tag Team Champions, which I would hope I'd actually be okay if Lorcan and Birch were still the tag team champions when this comes about. But there have been people that have been griping on social media about the fact that, oh yeah, it's going to be another non-existent team, two just random guys together that end up winning this whole thing. So what? So what? It's entertaining. Last year, we saw Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle together. Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. We saw Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. I mean, come on. There is some potential for some great, never-before-seen teams to be put together for this. This is going to be exciting. And I know Triple H is going to book this. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, oh my goodness, this is going to be crazy. Next week, Wednesday, is NXT's New Year's Evil, hosted by, of all people, Dexter Lumis, who doesn't talk. Let's see. You met Raven when he was Scotty the Body. Yes, okay. Let me divert here real quick to TikTok. For those of you that are Raven fans, you have to look up what his career was before ECW. The things he had to do. Scotty the Body, Scotty Anthony, Johnny Polo. I remember when he was the preppy guy. And then all of a sudden he becomes this dark, brooding whatever. Yeah, I like Bobby Fish. I really wish Fish and O'Reilly could go back to the Red Dragon name. Loved that tag team. I gotta scroll here real quick. See. Oh, you worked? No, Jetty, I do not know Brodie Lee. Yeah, Dean, you worked with ECCW? Okay. Hello, Dale Parker 55. How are you? Thank you, everybody on TikTok, for joining in. I'm looking the other way because I'm recording. I'm doing my YouTube live and recording my podcast, so I apologize. I'm not ignoring you guys over here, but we're back to YouTube. Okay, so let's talk about NXT's New Year's Evil, which is going to be capped off with Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly 2 for the NXT Championship. That match is going to be absolutely crazy. I can't wait for that match. Their first one was phenomenal, and I'll tell you, Kyle O'Reilly has really stepped out as a main event singles guy now, which I can't wait to see what that's going to end up meaning for the Undisputed Era. We'll see. We already know, going back to the Dusty Classic, with Bobby Fish being out due to injury, Adam Cole and Roddy Strong are going to be tag teaming together. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think there's going to be an implosion of Undisputed Era until Bobby Fish comes back. You have to have all four guys together. The match I'm really looking forward to, and it was set up beautifully last night on NXT, is Damian Priest and Karrion Kross. Holy crap, I really hope they give these guys at least 20 minutes. I really do. Though I can actually see this match being a no contest or a double DQ or a double countout or something. Damian Priest, one of the hottest guys on the roster right now, even after losing the North American Championship. This is a guy that, if he doesn't get called up around WrestleMania time, this is a guy before the end of 2021, he better hold the NXT Championship. Karrion Kross, I think, deserves a shot with the title because he had to give it up 24 hours after winning it due to shoulder injury. And I'd love to see what they're able to do with that. But these guys, this is just the beginning of what could be almost a Ciampa Gargano type feud in NXT. I am looking forward to that match. Io Shirai, you know what? I gotta cheat here a little bit. Hang on a second. I gotta cheat. I don't even remember what the rest of the card is for NXT New Year's Evil. Like I said, oops, whoa, wrong screen. Oh, crud. I gotta move that over here. I gotta look over this way. I feel bad that I don't know what the card is. Holy cow. I gotta check this out and see, because I want to talk about it correctly. But it's going to be an absolutely fantastic show. Oh, we've got Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. That is going to be just an incredible, hard-hitting match between those two women as well. And I know I'm missing a match in here. I know I'm missing one. I feel bad that I am missing it. I know they've got them listed here somewhere. Oh, Grand Metalik versus Legado versus what the heck is his name? The Santos Escobar, the Cruiserweight champion. That's going to be happening. And let's see, do they have... oh, wow, they don't have it... They have none of it listed in here? Really? I'm shocked. Let's see, hold on. We've got the results from NXT. Boy, I'm missing it. You know, and I feel stupid for not writing this stuff down. Maybe I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna end up having to do a. I might do a dedicated, especially dedicated one on Saturday for this. But it's shaping up to be an absolutely fantastic show next week, Wednesday. I can't wait to see what they're going to end up doing. Oh, here we go. Actually, I found the promo for it. So let's see. I can't bring the video in because it's intellectual property somewhere else. Oh, Ciampa and Thatcher. Ciampa and Thatcher is going to be crazy. Those two are absolutely nuts. Oh, here I got friends jumping in here, letting me know what's good. Yep, you were right. No, it's Ripley versus Gonzalez. It's not Ripley versus Dakota Kai. And Io Shirai, is she defending her title? I don't think she's wrestling at that show. I don't think she is, which is a shame. But they've only got 2 hours, so it's going to be a great show. But they're going to be going up against the now rescheduled AEW New Year's Smash Night 1. So next Wednesday is going to be very, very interesting. Actually, the next 2 Wednesdays, because AEW was going to have back-to-back weeks of New Year's Smash. One of the key matches being Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix. So now you're going to have Night 1 of New Year's Smash going against New Year's Evil. Night 2 of New Year's Smash going up against the opening night of the Dusty Classic. This is going to be absolutely insane for the next couple of Wednesday nights. I can't wait. All right, we're going to jump real quick here. One last little bit I want to talk about. You know what? I can't get away with a show without talking about the lovely Alexa Bliss, but I have to talk about... Oh, hold on. I've got a comment here. Sasha Banks fan. I updated my Raw Universe mode. Okay. You updated your Raw's War for your Universe mode. Okay, that is awesome. Okay. I loved everything that went on again with Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. I like this, how they're kind of playing all this out with Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, being gone, not knowing what's happening with him. But what I didn't like was the cliffhanger at the very end. And I didn't like it for 2 reasons. One, in wrestling, you can't have this cliffhanger feeling when you've got another show on Friday night that emanates from the same exact building. Second, when you have Raw Talk on the WWE Network immediately following the show, and there's nothing, there's no smoldering body, there's no, firefighters, there's no fire extinguishers, nothing else in the ring. What was the purpose of the lights going out, Randy Orton with the match, and that's it? What was the purpose? And I've got this funny feeling, and let me know, I got to get rid of the screen so I can get back to my YouTube. There we go. Let me know in your comments, and if you're watching the recorded version of this on YouTube, comment below, please. Do you want to see more cliffhangers like this in the WWE? I don't know if I want to. I really don't know if there is a place for this in professional wrestling right now. Especially with WWE, where it really, I would say with anything. AEW, Ring of Honor, NWA, any of those things. Dean Morrissey's back. Are you talking about Bray Wyatt? Yes, Sasha Banks fan 95. I see you there. Hello. Is there a place for cliffhangers right now in professional wrestling? I don't know. I think we're gone from that time. I really do. I'll be curious to see on Monday night exactly how they approach this. Will this be mentioned on SmackDown? Because ironically, I found it very interesting that on Raw, they showed highlights of Big E's win for the Intercontinental Championship, which I believe is a precursor to him getting a big push going into the Royal Rumble. And I'll tell you, I will be doing Royal Rumble predictions Probably not for a couple more weeks, since we're still technically a month out from it. But there's a lot of wacky things. Yeah, Dean, cliffhangers are so old, not really a big fan. Same here. There are some wacky rumors going on right now about what could potentially happen at the Royal Rumble. And I'll tell you this, I don't want to say, hello, Xander Jimenez. I don't want to say this is make or break for WWE, but 2021 and the success with viewers will really be predicated by what happens at the Royal Rumble. Decisions that are made at the Royal Rumble, especially the winners, are really going to determine a lot of how the landscape of professional wrestling is going to change in 2021. I can guarantee you AEW is going to be watching decisions that WWE makes in the Royal Rumble very closely. They may not want to admit it, but they're going to. Because I will tell you, new storylines needed. Seth coming back as a babyface, Bears Nation with 81. I don't know. I really don't know. First of all, I don't know when he's coming back. It's only been a month since Becky Lynch had the baby. I would like to see Seth wait until after the Royal Rumble to come back. Because you can only have so many big returns in the Royal Rumble, and I think bringing Seth back at the Rumble would be a mistake. If they do Elimination Chamber again, as kind of the go-between, the in-between from Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, I'd actually like to see him come back at Elimination Chamber. Because I think that would have a bigger impact than showing up on a Raw. But then again, on Raw, might be good. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Becky and Seth come back at the same time. Not really play the super couple thing that they did before. Have them separate, but have them return the same night. That would be pretty cool. But one of the rumors that has been floating around very heavily has been Goldberg coming back, and Goldberg potentially facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Please God, no. And Goldberg winning the Royal Rumble. Think back to ECW One Night Stand. I think it was the very first one. Might have been the second one. I think it was the one where RVD beat him for the title. And the signs, if Cena wins, we riot. I'm going to say it right now. If Goldberg wins the Royal Rumble, we riot. This cannot happen. Goldberg, first of all, cannot win the Royal Rumble. Second of all, Goldberg cannot be challenging for a title in 2021. The last time he challenged for a title, he won it in Saudi Arabia. We don't need that. I'd be okay with the rumored Brock Lesnar return with Brock, Keith Lee, and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I'd be okay with that. As long as Brock doesn't win. But Goldberg versus Roman Reigns? Please, no. No. Can't happen. Don't want it to happen. Wasn't planning on talking about Royal Rumble this much. But you know what? We are on the road to the Royal Rumble. So we do have to talk about it a little bit. But I will dedicate a lot more time to it in the coming weeks. Promise you on that as more news is coming out. We just finally, this last week, got the first announcements of superstars that are going to be in there. You know what I'm going to do? I wasn't planning on doing this, and I might be spoiling something here for something else, but I don't know if it's going to end up happening. I have to do this. This is going to be edition 2 of John's Hot Take. I submitted this to Alex McCarthy on Twitter, as part of Alex McCarthy's Wrestling Daily on Wrestle2 on YouTube, giving those guys a plug. And just because of the Brodie Lee story and everything else, they weren't able to utilize it. And it's fine, because I'm going to utilize it on my own channel. And TikTok, have fun with this, okay? Hello, Lilith, how are you? Shayna Baszler has been wasted on the main roster of WWE since being called up. Shayna Baszler will never be the dominant wrestler that she was in NXT. And she has been a completely wasted talent and will never really amount to anything great on the main roster in WWE. That's my hot take. Agree with it or not, let me know. Do you think that Seth Rollins and Roman... Oh, wait, I lost that one. Oh, there we go. Seth Rollins and Roman and Jey Uso will be the new Shield? No. Seth Rollins and Roman are done. They will not... There's a possibility there could be a feud there since he's on SmackDown now. But they will not team. No. Roman Reigns is his own guy now. It'll be Roman, Jay, and Jimmy when Jimmy gets cleared in about a month. Potentially one more of the of the Roman Reigns family. I can't pronounce. You'd think, I'm Polynesian, you'd think I'd be able to say the name, but I can't. There are rumors of one more coming in, so we'll see. But yeah, Shayna Baszler, I was excited to see on Monday Night Raw, in her match against Dana Brooke, we finally got to see a little bit of that badass Shayna Baszler again. She came out, she was rough, she was tough, she was just brutal. That was the Shayna Baszler I wanted to see. And then 2 segments later, we see her as the stupid sidekick for Nia Jax again. Vince, Bruce Pritchard, for the love of all things wrestling, please end this tag team. I'm going to get closer. Closer to my camera. End the tag team of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler needs a singles run. She needs to kick people's asses, and she needs to win the Raw Women's Championship and have a dominant run. She doesn't need to be a tag team champion anymore. She does not need to be involved with anything with Nia Jax. Sorry. That is my hot take. Oh, TikTok, if you could have seen that. All right. I'm very disappointed with Heavy Machinery. Yeah, Tucker, oh, don't get me started on that. Absolutely horrid. Absolutely horrid what they did. The Money in the Bank. Dean, I'm not even going to comment because I was going to say something and it was going to come across way wrong. I'm not going to say it. What, Lilith, you think they are the best team? Well, looking at it, the tag teams, Lilith Vampire on TikTok is saying Nia and Shayna are the best tag team. Taking a look at it, putting it on paper, that actually may be true. Because what do you have right now? You know, you've got Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, okay, not bad. Peyton Royce and I can't remember her name, the Sassy Southern Belle. Lacey Evans, there we go. They're a team. Huh? Okay. You've got Billie Kay trying to figure out what on earth she's doing. Nope. You've got the Riot Squad. An actual legit tag team. Obviously, you have the tag team champion, Charlotte Flair and Asuka, but we know where that one's leading. What else do we have? You really don't have any other tag teams. So taking a look at it on paper, oh, I can't believe I'm going to say it. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler may actually be the best women's tag team in WWE right now. But that doesn't mean they need to stay together. Okay? They don't. That was my hot take, though. Thank you very much. Wow, I think this is going to be officially my longest YouTube show to date, which means my longest podcast, and I think my longest TikTok live as well. What do you think is going to go on? One more thing here. What Sasha Banks fan 95. What do you think will go on WrestleMania 37? Really hard to say right now. If it doesn't happen beforehand, Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. If she can hang on and maintain, I think it will be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm going to go with that rumor of Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar versus Keith Lee. And I'm going to run with my heart on this one. And I'm going to say Roman Reigns versus Big E. And Big E is going to be walking into that match as the Intercontinental Champion. Now, will his belt be on the line? I don't think so. Though I could see them maybe making Roman Reigns a double champion. And that being said, though, Big E will be winning the Royal Rumble. I'd like to see that. Beyond that, it's really hard to say. You know, obviously the big one last thing I'm going to throw in here real quick before I wrap up is the whole thing with the Money in the Bank contract going back to The Miz. There is no way on earth he is going to lose 2 cash-ins. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen. I've never been a huge fan. You know, I like the work that The Miz does. I kind of wish him and Morrison were not together, because John Morrison looks like an absolute complete goof right now, and I don't know if that's just the character he wants to have or what, but he looks stupid right now as the sidekick for The Miz. Maybe there's a Miz-Morrison match. Those two fight at some point. Maybe that's going to happen at WrestleMania. But The Miz has... I don't see him beating Drew McIntyre for the title. I just don't see it happening unless he sneaks in a win and it's a short transitional thing where... I'll get to that question in just a second about Triple H and AJ Styles. He may just be a short-term transitional champion so Drew McIntyre could go into WrestleMania as the 3-time WWE champion. That's a possibility. They may try, giving him the Ric Flair treatment in a way, except as a babyface, where Ric Flair would have the title, he'd lose it, and quickly regain it again. There was a lot of times where when Flair did drop the belt, he would only be without it for a month, maybe 2 months, and then boom, would get it right back. I see them doing that with Drew McIntyre too. Not to get him an exorbitant amount of title runs, but to make him look fantastic when he gets that title back. And maybe that will end up happening where Drew faces Sheamus at Royal Rumble. Something ends up happening. Sheamus gets ticked off. He bro kicks Drew at the end of the match after losing. Miz cashes in, wins, and then at Elimination Chamber, Drew gets the title back. And maybe it's Miz defending in Elimination Chamber, and Drew overcomes all the odds and wins at the end and goes on to WrestleMania. That could be a pretty good story right there. But we shall see. All right, Pete Zutuck on TikTok asks, any possibility of Triple H versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania? I could see that potentially happening. Don't really know what direction AJ Styles is going to be going in. He's still kind of on that outside edge of the WWE Championship. Complaining, rightfully so, that he should get another shot because if Miz technically didn't cash in the title, he shouldn't have been involved in the match. There was a guy in the match that should have been there. It should have been AJ. So AJ really should get another title shot. He really did technically get screwed. Even though in a ladder match, anything goes. No DQs, no countouts, no nothing else. Outside interference can happen. So Triple H versus, I don't know if Hunter is going to wrestle again at WrestleMania. I don't know if they really need him to. If if they have to go with the format that they did last year of WrestleMania being over 2 nights, then yes, I could see it happening. But I think Vince is really pushing to get WrestleMania at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa in front of some sort of a live audience. And if that ends up happening, we will not see Triple H versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That would be a good match, though. Because, AJ is just the consummate professional. He really is. Fantastic at what he does. And Triple H, even at his age and the fact that he only wrestles like once or twice a year now, if that, he still can put on a great match if he doesn't get hurt. That's the caveat. He can't get hurt. Sorry, once again, going for the G Fuel. G Fuel. G Fuel's watching, please. Would love to have you as a sponsor in 2021. All right, thank you very much. Hello, TikTok legend. How are you? Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in here. I'm going to wrap things up because it is getting close to 6:30 Central Time here. We're almost at the hour mark for this. AJ versus Drew versus Sheamus versus Keith Lee. That will not happen. Nope. Maybe at Elimination Chamber. I don't know. There actually are 2 pay-per-views in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Aren't there? I don't remember. Okay, one more here on TikTok. What % chance CM Punk have of coming back to WWE? I'm going to say 1%. So you're telling me there's a chance. CM Punk does not need to come back to wrestling. He is one of the smartest guys on the planet when it came to saving his money on the independent scene, knowing that, hey, I don't know how long this whole thing's going to last for me. I got to take care of it. And he was very, very frugal with his money when he was with WWE. He does not need to wrestle. And he got a pretty lucrative deal from Dana White and UFC for those couple of matches. Hold on, I missed a question there. You think Randy Orton is overrated? Based on what Randy Orton has done here in 2020, no, he is not. He is not overrated. He could still go in the ring. And I'll tell you, him and Alexa Bliss together, talking back and forth in the ring, gold, man. And it's not just because I absolutely love Alexa Bliss. Okay, she is my wrestling crush. Followed very close, a close number 2 by Thunder Rosa. Got to tag her in this too. Actually, when I go to post editing here on YouTube, I'm going to be tagging Thunder Rosa. But no, he's not. He's not overrated, not at all. All right, I want to thank all of you. I said at the beginning, I gave out some thank yous for some inspirations this year, but I want to thank everybody that has been following me on TikTok. Yeah, Liv Morgan. Yeah, she's, I like her too. Everybody that has been following me and commenting and liking things on TikTok, to my subscribers and my viewers on YouTube, everybody following me everywhere else. If you're listening to this podcast on whatever audio outlet you hear it on, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I am just a lifelong wrestling fan. I'm just a guy that finally a couple of months ago decided to get off my lazy butt and decided to start doing, wrestling YouTube videos and a podcast. Something that I've been saying for a couple of years I was going to do. Just anybody that watches, listens, any of this, I greatly appreciate everybody. Because every like, every view, every comment, every subscription, whatever, means the world to me. I'm not worried about becoming TikTok famous or viral on the internet or having 1 million followers anywhere, though it would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool. I like being a small fish in a big pond right now. What does 2021 have in store for WrestleScope? I've got plans, I've got ideas, I've got things I want to do. But as a trusted friend once told me, John, stop telling people what you're going to do and just go do it. So in 2021, with WrestleScope TV, we're just going to do it. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to go out and do this and have fun with it. And when it's not fun anymore, when it becomes work, when it becomes something that I look at like, oh, I need to do this, then I'm going to stop. But as long as it remains fun for me, I'm going to keep doing it. And I hope you join me on the journey. I greatly appreciate it. If you have not followed me on my social media, let's see if I can get it right for the last time in 2020. Boom! Right there for my YouTube fans. On TikTok at WrestleScope TV. On Twitter at TV_Wrestle. On Instagram at WrestleScope. If you're on the YouTube right now, subscribe. Give me a like. If you're listening on the audio, thank you very much. Become a follower on wherever you may be. iHeartRadio, Apple, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Buzzsprout, wherever you may be. Thank you very much. I have updated the Patreon page. And we'll be adding a few more things. That is the one thing I can tell you I'm going to be doing, is making a bigger push for Patreon going into 2021. Because there are things that I want to do and want to attempt to achieve here. And I'll be quite honest, financially, I can't do it myself. I need the help of supporters, people that like what I'm doing. And I'm not asking for much. I do have an Amazon wish list that's in my link tree. You can link in my bio on wherever you are. Take a look at it. We'll be adding stuff there. But if you want to become a Patreon supporter for as low as $5 a month, going into 2021, I would greatly appreciate it. That is going to help make this channel bigger and better. One of my biggest goal for 2021 is to start doing interviews. How it's going to happen, and wait a second, did you hear that? I don't know what that was. We're going to find out here in a second, though. That was, oh, I sold something on Mercari. All right. Nice. Okay, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here, but hey, I was just talking about money, and guess what? I just made something on Mercari. All right. Yay. Might have to take that money and use it for something else here. Actually, I got to check my eBay here because I've got a couple of things. Hopefully, nope, I didn't miss them. All right, sorry about that. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Heel Zach Clark, maybe later in 2021, not before WrestleMania. Well, thank you once again, everybody. I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for all that you do. I love doing this, and I love having people along on the journey with me. We are wrestling fans. We need to stay together. But the one thing is, folks, please, going into 2021, let's try sharing some positivity. Let's try getting as much of the negativity out of our world, not just when we're talking professional wrestling, but just life in general. Let's start making things more positive in 2021. We've had so much negativity this past year. If we could flip one thing into the new year, let's just try being happier people and nicer people to others. Even if you don't like their opinion, don't roast people if you don't like their opinion. Let them have their opinion. Because you know what? There's probably people that don't like your opinion either. You don't want to get beat up on social media. You don't want to get beat up by people by what you think. Don't do it to other people, okay? That's my little final note. Okay, Heel Zach Clark and Pizzu Tuck, I'm going to save those. And you know what? I'm actually going to do TikToks answering your questions, okay? Because I'm going to jump off here. I want to get off of YouTube now. But I'm actually going to keep those. Okay, I'm going to cheat here real quick. And I'm actually going to write these down. I want to write these down because I want to save them. And I want to actually credit the people that give me the questions. And because of that, I'm actually going to give you guys follows on TikTok if I'm not already following you. That way I can tag you on them. Okay? And this is a this is a big no-no of what I'm doing. But I'm going to do it anyways. I really should not be not paying attention to what's going on. But, alright, so as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go to TikTok and I'm going to answer your questions right there. again, thank you very much. Have a happy new year. If it hasn't flipped yet, you know what? Everything to the east of London has now gone into 2021. The United States coming up very soon. So thank you very much, everybody. Love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support. Continue to like, share, comment, subscribe. And if you want to be a Patreon on my channel, please do. Love you guys. Happy New Year. We'll see you next year. I'm sorry, I had to do it. YouTube, you guys are out. I will talk at you later if I can get my mouth.